Hi, I'm Tyler Sabbag. I am a composer and a percussionist, and today we're going to break down my track Tactum, which I made entirely with my Clevgrand OneShot pack. So one of my goals in creating this track was to take what was created as a cinematic percussion pack and show how versatile it can be by making a dance track with it. Let's jump in and take a look. So one of my favorite parts of this whole pack is all the textural sounds that are included with it that I sampled. Some of those are like some clay ceramic scraps. Some are various seed pod type dangly percussion instruments. And all of it's really pretty just on its own. But one of the really cool things that we were able to do with this sample pack is warp them and manipulate them within the world of OneShot. There are a lot of different ways that one can, like you could change the pitch, mess around with envelopes, add effects and things like that. And with this kit that I built to make this track, which is a preset included with OneShot, you can experiment with some of that, as well as with other presets too. So here we have like some long bell textures and some other kinds of textural things. This is a beautiful bell chain. But the first sound you hear is this one, this clay long textures. And it's pretty much, there's nothing going on with this one. It's just pretty straight up. No sends are going or anything like that. And it's just a beautiful sound to kind of get us into the headspace of the piece. So I have two different little hanging things of clay scraps. This one and this one. And with a lot of these instruments, as I was building them, I had a stereo pair of Coles ribbon mics, and I would make textural sounds with two instruments at the same time, but in front of each mic in the stereo pair. So creates a natural width just from the things being different on either side. So that gets us in kind of in the door of this piece. And then pretty quickly thereafter, almost immediately, we have those same clay scraps being hit, creating our first pulse. And then the bells join not very long after. And they play the role of like a hi-hat in a traditional like drum machine dance kit kind of vibe. At the same time those join, we also have a clay bongo sort of instrument known as the tibilat that comes in at the same time as the bells. The bells kind of do a little pickup, and then the tibilat joins right after. And so we're building a pulse, we're building, and then a larger version of the tibilat comes in. There it is. And that's really building us up to what you would have heard if I didn't have things soloed, which is a kick drum. Now, the kick drum, in this case, is what I affectionately call a bombo, which is a Peruvian bombo leguero. I say Peruvian. It's a South American drum. I'm sure it crosses many borders and morphs into many different contexts. My friend brought me one back from his travels in Peru, and I was very grateful. It's beautiful. So this is what that sounds like in this case. Now, kind of sounds like maybe a little bit like a 909. What do we have going on here? Let's take a quick look. Let's see. Again, this is all one kit. In fact, pretty much every instrument for this track is all one kit, which is kind of neat. It's just one track, actually, with different like lanes manipulating it, but it's just one instrument doing all this stuff. So if I scroll down, we find the two bombos. And with these guys, they have different pitches, because I love it when kick drums pitch around a little bit and move in that way. So you can see this one's a little lower. It's an octave down. This one is 8 semitones down. So there you go. And then both of them are filtered with a little bit of a velocity. So like, I guess in this case, the harder you hit it to a small degree, the like harder the filter goes down, the more high frequencies it removes. And the filter settings are the same. So if I were to take that off, you'd hear more harmonics and whatnot. But my goal here was to make it really sound like a drum machine, even though it's a big, beautiful, organic drum. Again, we're just trying to demonstrate the versatility here. It joins. Sounds great. But in the context of everything, it wasn't quite cutting enough for me. So I took another instrument from the pack, which was wood block, temple blocks, and let's see, here it is, mallet block 4 in this case, and we can go down here and find it. I pitched it down, manipulated the envelope a little bit to make it shorter. We have some distortion going on it to make it cut a little bit. We have some compression to just kind of squish it pretty much. It's super fast attack, pretty quick release here. Just to make it very consistent. And that just adds to the transient a little bit. So together, that kind of makes a kick drum sound. Do they sound like exactly the same instrument? No, of course not. But they work together in a way that I think is neat. And in the context of the full thing, it kind of gives that kick a little more of a sense of place that I really like. And we have a conga playing some accents here, which is kind of cool. But then, you know, when the beat drops, we have this like Scooby-Doo kind of noise going on down here. It sounds like a haunted house or something. This is, I believe, let's see. There it is. It's this guy, Bell's Mush Hits. So one thing I love about OneShot is when you hover over the slot, you can see down here with all the triggers, the trigger is flashing. So I go, okay, great, it's this one, easy to find. So with this, we've got a quick, we've got a little pitch envelope going. The whole thing's pitched an octave down. We have an envelope here making the whole sound a little bit shorter than it normally would be. Kind of gets to the point and gets out a little bit. And then we've got some EQ and some delay, so it echoes a little bit. And it's also going to this send bus 2 here, which has this delay on it, a little dotted eighth note delay, and a bit crusher, which a lot of things are going to this magical bus 2. So we'll check back in on that later. With the pitch envelope, one of the things I really love is, so I've got it pitched down an octave, as you can see, but you can set an attack, hold, and decay time for the pitch. So it takes just a quick second, or well, less than a second, clearly, to get up to the pitch that I've set it to, and then it takes about a second and a half to then decay. So with that, some bit crush, some delay, it gets this really neat sound that I think is exciting. Yeah, sounds like some flying cats yelling at me or something like that. Yeah. So yeah, we're just kind of rolling with what we've built up to now. A little bit of it, basically our A section, little conga accents coming in, little kick drop out right there just for a second, because why not? And then we've got these guys, again with the pitch envelope, building and ramping into the B section. And you can hear that decay on the pitch envelope, which is so much fun. You know, we have all these awesome textural sounds and messing around with their pitch. Like, you're taking something that's so organic sounding and then you manipulate it. There's so much rich audio there to mess with. It's really something that I think is wonderful. I personally find that very fertile ground for inspiration. And then also leading us into the B section, we've got this Tibilat, which is kind of riffing and building and light, it's kind of question and answer, call and response. We have this one here, and then the conga's there. So they're kind of talking to each other while our 4 on the floor is moving along. Again, music is always a conversation, right? And this is the conversation that's happening in here for me. And so it builds and it builds, and we're getting to our B section. So our B section, we have this textural part that is kind of decaying, right? But then there's 2 other main parts for the first half of this that are really carrying us along. The first is this low tempo block. And with this one, what's going on is kind of cool. Another like power of the one shot. So if I go down here to mallet block 1, we can go into its trigger settings, and we can see it's pitched down an octave. Maybe I'm a one-trick pony, but I just love pitching things down an octave. It's fun. And it's not going to either send, but one of the neat things about it is, let me solo it so you can check it out. It kind of sounds like it's changing pitch, right? But this is just staying static. But this is where we get into the humanize column here, which is neat. So we're humanizing, so to speak, the pitch of this block. And what that does is it adds a little variance to it. And we're at 32%. We could crank it up or down, but I landed on 32 and liked that for this. So it just adds a little bit of variation of what's being played, so it doesn't sound so static. So that's kind of the main clock of this B section here. And then the other main element are these this other tempo blocks part. So again, this started as just regular old tempo blocks. So a group of 5 wood blocks, each with a different pitch, and I sampled them 3 ways with a kind of medium soft, medium hard mallet, so that it's kind of a round tone, which is that low one that you just heard a minute ago. And then I did like the shoulder of a drumstick. So if this is the block, it's hitting like so, and that gets a lot of volume, but it's not super sharp. It's strident. It's up there. And then with the tip of a drumstick, which gives a little bit lighter of a tone. And so that's what we've got going on here. So it's these slots, stick tip 1 through 5. And let's see. So it's 1. So again, I am looking down here, and these are the ones. So the pitches are all the same, but I've got a high pass filter going on all of them. So around 1K, 1.3K. And they're all getting a little bit of room. And now we're getting to the Magical Bus 2 again, which has this delay and this bit crush, which adds a lot of color to it. It kind of plays it back in its own otherworldly sense. Sounds like Super Mario is handing out the sprinkles. Something like that. So, yeah, those are the main elements there. And then our friend the conga starts coming back. We got some filter sweep going on. And then it pauses, of course, for our tibulat up here to lead us back into our kick drum. And now we're basically taking it home. We have everyone in the family is all jamming together. Our tempo block took a little break here, but it's still going. Or it's about to be going again. There it comes back. I just heard our flying Halloween cats again. And now we have this same texture part here with the pitch envelope is coming back in, and everything's just building towards the end. clay hits are in, our bell hit hi-hat is in, the clay textures are coming and going. And then we have some delay ramping up on this tempo block. It's starting to sound a little wobbly and wibbly as it gets towards the end, and then it all kind of falls apart, and that's that. Got this guy phrasing us, doing a little solo, kind of soloistic line on the way out too. And then I took one of these kick hits from our bombo and reversed it in Logic after printing it to just give us a little whoop on the way out. And there you go. So that's the track. I hope you like it. I hope you love using the pack. And you can also download this exact Logic session that we're looking at right now along with the pack. So I hope you do that, and I hope you poke around in there and dig in and see how it all got made, and I hope you enjoy it. Now let's just play the track all the way through.